So Mackenzie Davis was brought on to Terminator Dark Fate, effectively helping to kill the Terminator franchise. Her response? You should have known better than to make a seventh movie. I mean, really, do you listen to what audiences want? Listening to audiences. Yeah, we told you that this thing was going to break down, and even the stars of your show have then turned against you. So hey there. Now before we get started, this is our second comic. Link is in the description, and we need your help getting the word out. Why? Because mainstream sources, they consider us wrong thinkers, and maybe we are. I mean, hey, look at this. We're having success. They don't. More on that at the end of the video. So looking back on Terminator Dark Fate, it is astounding what type of flop we're talking about. I mean, this was a movie that cost $185 million, and you double that for advertisement, and they definitely advertised a lot. Now, the money that they end up with for that is a paltry $250 million worldwide, and if you look at domestic video sales, it only adds in another $16 million. That is a flop, and a huge one. Now, you could see the proverbial writing on the wall, too, as the director himself went out and attacked critics of the movie, and the reason that he was attacking critics of the movie was simple. He was attacking them because of Mackenzie Davis. Quote, if you're at all enlightened, she'll play like gangbusters. If you're a closet misogynist, she'll scare the F out of you because she's tough and strong but very feminine. We do not trade certain gender traits for others. She's just very strong, and that frightens some dudes. You can see online the responses to some of the early S that's out there, trolls on the internet. I don't give an F. So Tim Miller, he puts his reputation on the line, stepping out and saying, hey, this person is going to play like gangbusters, and the way that they repay him some months later is by doing this article. Quote, Terminator Dark Fate star Mackenzie Davis, thinking there'd be demand for a seventh film is insane. Bad news, T-800 fans, it looks like the end of the road for Arnie and his murderous metalheads. Yeah, now as a fan myself, I know we get upset about this stuff, but at the end of the day, we don't lose something. The people that lose something in this, they're the investors in the films. You know, the ones that pay people like Mackenzie Davis, and the ones that should learn a valuable lesson from this going forward. Quote, Dark Fate faces losses of $120 million plus for partners Skydance Media, Paramount Pictures, and 20th Century Fox, who each put up 30% of the $185 million budget. Now, Disney, which actually owns Fox Film at the time here, would absorb that loss, and also China's Tencent, they had a 10% stake in the movie. So we're talking about a $185 million loss divvied up against these monster companies, and this person, as well as Linda Hamilton, laughing all the way, saying, hey, we knew it would fail. Good times, huh? Good times. Now, this interview, it is cringy even by interview standards. And I have to say, considering the internet, I mean, that is saying quite a bit. But in this, you have a movie that is essentially a political puff piece being discussed, and the subject of Black Mirror comes up, and then it's going to transition to Terminator Dark Fate, and do so quickly. I left this in, though, just to show you how cringy this is. So, gotcha. You were in a certain episode of Black Mirror. Have you seen the viral video of a Charlie Brooker-style robot patrol dog in Singapore? What? Why? Oh my God, no, that's insane. Is having an artificially intelligent police dog something that scares me? What do you think? I feel innovation is an absolute gift and the downfall of humanity. Innovating at all costs is so insane. Get it out of our world, please. Huh. Okay, I guess that could be a Terminator answer, but at the same time, this is somebody that is a Terminator in this, so okay. Then, you've been in a few dystopian sci-fi films, though. Terminator Dark Fate, for example. Is there a sequel coming? I really loved the movie, and I'm proud of what we did, but there wasn't a demand for it at the box office. And to think that there'd be a demand for a seventh film is quite insane. You should just pay attention to what audiences audiences want. They want new things, and I want new things. So that answer, we only want new and better things. So how did we end up with so many Terminator movies after all? Oh, that's right, because they make money. I mean, if you look at original from 1984, this makes quite a bit of money. I mean, here you have a low-budget movie, essentially, and it makes $78 million in change. Terminator 2 comes in 1991 and absolutely mops the floor with those numbers, making $515 million plus, almost 7 times the original movie. Terminator 3 comes in, playing with the same formula, introducing a female Terminator 2, since they pretend that that's new and creative. And what do we get? We get $433 million in change. Terminator 4, Terminator Salvation, it comes in at $365 million plus. And Terminator Genesis actually makes $432 million, even though it costs quite a bit more to make. In fact, if you look at all of the Terminator sequels, there's only one that stands out as an abject failure, and that's Terminator Dark Fate. Why? Because they put together a movie that they thought could appeal to the buzzwording crowd with the domestic box office, forgetting that the international box office is where all that money came from, and especially the Chinese audience. So the interviewer, they continue with this question about the sequel portion, and I think that this is very telling. So that's a no then. They ask. There are many interesting people that don't fit the mold of those who make these big franchises who have not had the chance to make movies. We should be investing in them right now. Now, isn't that interesting? So the people that should be given a chance right now are new people with different ideas. Not the same old people. You know, the people that create things like Deadpool, the people that have gone in and created things like Terminator. You know, people like Tim Miller. That's interesting, isn't it? The guy who went out, he took on those quote-unquote misogynistic internet trolls. Yeah, he's obsolete. Much like that 7th film they're talking about, he's been shelved too because they need new and different things, you know, things that aren't reflected like him. Now, what's fascinating about this is it doesn't stop there. You actually have Mackenzie Davis then tell people, hey, you probably shouldn't go to the theaters either, not until there's a vaccine. Quote, cinemas are reopening in the UK next week. Are you ready to go back into the theater? No, I'm not ready until there's a vaccine. Now, I understand that thinking too. I really do. But at the same time, does it seem responsible to go out to say that I'm going to talk about a movie and then to say, but people, they really shouldn't go and check that out? It seems, I don't know, counterintuitive. Then they talk about going back to a film set. I don't think I'll be put in a situation where I'm the one who decides if we go or don't go. We have a very good union. I'm supposed to shoot a TV show soon, and the idea of 4 months of hundreds of people coming and going in a major metropolitan city, it's just not possible until there's a vaccine. Temperature checks and wearing face masks for most of a day isn't a solution. I don't know how it's going to happen. Now, what's fascinating about this is that the person interviewing, they don't take it to say, I'm not really going back to work. They take it as those poor actors. They don't get to decide much about their fate. Quote, it feels like actors don't get much of a say in whether they go back to work or not. I wasn't taught to turn down a job in a movie or a TV show or a commercial or whatever. Any job could change your career. The whole mentality of being an actor is that success is around every corner, so don't ever stop. It can really drive you mad, especially when you're younger, and the idea of turning something down because you may get sick. I know so many people who would take that gamble. That's why the Screen Actors Guild is so important, because they protect actors by not putting them in a situation where they have to be the ones to decide. So we're not to blame in that. You know who's to blame? The Screen Actors Guild. It's just like the movie there, Terminator Dark Fate, right? It's not my fault the movie stunk. It's not us that were attached to it. No, it's the fact that people, they didn't want a sequel. They don't want a 7th Terminator film. That stuff, it needs to step aside because we need new and unique voices. Sounds interesting, no? So combine that with Linda Hamilton telling us that she now has no desire to continue with this corner of her career. Basically, her Terminator time is over, and you get the feeling that it isn't the Terminator franchise that's causing the problem. It's the selection of people that they continue to put in these movies. If they have no want to continue forward, if they don't see these things as viable, well, how do you make a good movie? How do you make a good movie, indeed? But anyway, you tell me what you think about this stuff. I would love to have a good Terminator movie, too. I would just like to have it from people that actually want us to have a good one. I mean, really, is that too much to ask? So speaking of good products, this is our second comic, another case for the littlest umbrella. The first was a smash hit. This one is going to be even better. We have 40 pages of full color, all ages material, and picking this up with the stretch goals so far, you get the comic that you buy, plus you get 3 cards, a postcard, a sticker, and well, if it continues going, who knows what else. Let me say, too, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. You make these endeavors possible. Without you, none of it works. So thank you sincerely. I do appreciate you. Until next time, boom.